Hey guys, Ashlane here today with another 3-star expert interview, this time with Hundo from Battle Elite. Hundo gives a lot of 3-star insight to queen walking. He's been doing it almost exclusively for 3 weeks now out in the wild, pulling off 3-star after 3-star, so we're going to get into it here in depth, about 20-minute interviews. So guys, sit back, enjoy, and listen to the magic of Hundo tell how he became an expert 3-star queen walk attacker. Enjoy, guys. So I am here with Hundo. Hundo, what's going on, man?
Oh, just watching Clan Wars, man. We're killing it tonight.
Nice. I know. I'm actually in the clan Battle Elite. You're a longtime co-leader there, so it's awesome to have you on the channel. It's probably been way long overdue because you're definitely one of our best attackers in the entire alliance, and I'm not just saying that to blow smoke up your ass. You're definitely a somewhat of a legend, even though you have also been a legend in the game. So it's great to have you on, man.
Yeah, let's do this, man.
All right, so I want to talk about Queen Walk, and I had Crips on recently. I know you know Crips from Red Elite, and you guys are two of our best Queen Walk attackers, so I thought I would have an episode with you on talking more about how to become better at Queen Walks, and I know you do a lot of Queen Walking out in the wild, out in matchmaking, and I'll tell you what, with all the, with all the questions in the game and whatnot about, oh, is he a legit attacker? You pull off 3-star after 3-star after 3-star against maxed out bases in the wild. So I think you're the perfect guy to have on to talk about, how you make a one-size-fits-all army and how you use this technique, these out in the wild in matchmaking attacks to become a better war attacker. So I guess just, a quick starting question is, how long have you been doing Queen Walks?
I've done it off and on. We do an awful lot of events in the clan and stuff, and sometimes you move away from things that you really enjoy. But I would say probably really heavy into just doing only Queen Walks for about 3 weeks now. As like my only style of raid.
Yeah, you're just spamming them out. I'm actually gonna put some screenshots of your attack log, and it's crazy. I mean, the loot's insane, and you're one of our most prolific farmers too. You've been maxed out gold grab and elixir escapade for forever, it seems. But
couple months, yeah. White Walker beat me, but
really,
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. And you have like over 12 million dark elixir as well. So wow, props to you, man. So I guess let's go ahead and, I just want to start with a raid, and then I'll ask some questions, and then we'll just have a chat afterwards. So you want to just walk us through one of your recent raids? I'm over here in Battle Elite, so...
Yeah, I'll play that Death Dealer one right now, man.
All right, cool.
So I look at the base, and I see that EA is kind of vulnerable, so... I'm looking at where the queen is too, so I think that I can kind of get my queen entered into the base a little bit. I've got like a one-shot, one-size-fits-all army, so I see that there's that 7-gap space in the north, and I know that I can just use my Quake to enter there, and I see that the EA is kind of vulnerable, and don't think that there's an awful lot of point damage. There's some artillery down, but yeah, I just pulled the trigger on it and kind of figured that I'd get down a little deeper and actually have my queen meet up with the force, but she didn't, and it worked out okay. But yeah, I got lucky with that. Got lucky with having that freeze. I didn't want to freeze the single, but yeah, I ended up freezing the single because I had wizards in the CC. Was hoping to hold it for the multi, but yeah, it worked out okay. It was nice to hit a live base like that.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause right now here because I got so many questions for you already. Number one is, I noticed you bring a jump spell. Do you use that mostly on the queen to get her to funnel to where you want to, or is that kind of a flex spell?
Yeah, it's a flex spell. I mean, it's... You know yourself, there's so many bases up in Titan with so much loot, and you're really, nexting is just like farming, right? Although I'm doing it to try to practice against bases that are war-type bases. I'm trying to find bases that have good loot, that are going to give me a good feel for what I'm doing in the queen walk and how she's going to path, and try to read it. And if I take an extra 15 or 20 seconds at the beginning of the raid to try to make it fit my army composition, I mean, I can just press next again if it doesn't work out
Yeah,
for me.
the stakes are low enough, and you still get a great feel for the strategy. I'm sure you've made tons of gains in terms of your own confidence over the last 3 weeks of only doing queen walk. So I'm going to go ahead and just press play again and ask some questions as we watch here. Now, obviously, your entry is up in the northeast. That's something that we don't always see, is someone entering the exact opposite direction on the compass as the queen walk starts. Now, you're pretty comfortable doing that?
Yeah, like I said, there's not a whole lot of point damage up there. The giant bomb at the top kind of screwed me up. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to wall break into that second section. I shortchanged that jump because I didn't want to travel all the way into the next compartment. It's really like AI control, right? I want to keep those mortars tied up as long as I can, and that style of base, there's so many bases with that style, with that mortar splash damage kind of at the back of the base where the EA is, and the queen will take that all day long.
Yeah, and you have it seems like none of your troops died. It's so crazy in this attack. I guess 2 questions right now is, I noticed that you attacked into the single target Inferno when there was one multi, one single. Now, was that on purpose, or was that because of the base?
Because of the base, the queens are the queens at the front there. I don't gotta chop wood through all that artillery to get to her, and that CC's right there. So I'm taking care of the EA at one end and hitting
The queen,
hitting the queen and the CC on the other side. So it seemed like kind of a win-win. Like I said, I was hoping for a hound, and because I just would have pushed right through it, but it was wizard, so I just kind of got lucky and got that freeze off in time, and
nice.
looked like a bit of a rock star. It was cool.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And a very nice attack, and that's a very popular base design. As we watch another one of your attacks, I just have a couple other questions. One, when do you use the Grand Warden ability? Is it always different, or do you use it more towards the beginning of when you're entering in with it, or?
I kind of like to I kind of like to time it so that it's kind of coming as soon as my freeze is up, or else if my warden's in position, I don't like to waste the warden ability. I mean, these are kind of spam witch attacks. They are kind of, but I definitely like to make sure that I'm using it well.
Yeah, do you have any tricks to making sure that the Warden funnels with the witches? Because I've had it sometimes, too, on my attacks where, for whatever reason, the Warden kind of wanders off, and then the tome ability is kind of nullified.
Well, that first attack, I don't know how to describe it, but I kind of try to draw my whiz line kind of into the direction where I'm going to try to put the main thrust of my attack, so that I get more of my DPS units funneling into the center of the base. So I'll start on that Death Dealer attack. I drop my golems, and then I try to get my whiz line so that it's going north to east, so that I'm clearing out that brush on the clearing out that brush, so that my witches will actually take the inside of the base. And then my warden should stay with the heavier volume of units. That's the way I kind of try to do it.
Yeah, it worked pretty well there. I guess another question is, those resource ring bases, or the storages around the center. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
How do you hit a base like that with the queen walk? Do you have like a certain, or does it really depend on like the
Well, those big open square bases with the 4 corner bases, I like hitting those with the queen walk. I find the queen just walks down the one side, and then I try to time it so that I'm entering the base and engaging the CC side, and try to just push my way in that way. 9 times out of 10, my healers are staying on my queen as my queen pushes through into the base, and my DPS units are kind of coring the base and curling around the other side. So my queen walks up one flank, and most of my DPS walk up the other, and some push through the core. I actually really like finding those bases out in the wild. The resource ring 4 corner bases, it just seems to path well. And if she stalls out, so be it. By that
Yeah.
point, she's not getting hit by anything. So I really like to try to keep my healers on my queen. For the most part, that would be my go-to thing. Rather than have them cross over off the queen, especially on those resource ring bases.
Great. That's solid advice for hitting that type of base, and it's a very popular base, so I'm sure some of the listeners will find that very useful. I guess another question for you is on the when you made that transition to the all queen walk when you're in the wild. Now, obviously, you only have 30 seconds basically to plan your entry points. So, just to break it down for those who might not be, consider themselves quote unquote experts at a queen walk. Do you, is there certain things, is your only objective with the queen, or not, I shouldn't say only, because obviously there's certain bases that you can't get to the interior, but if there's an exposed eagle artillery, you're basically, your queen is, you're using your queen to take down the eagle artillery, and then you're using the rest of the attack to hopefully engage the base towards the enemy archer queen. Are those the two general rules for planning out your attack?
That's my rule of thumb, yeah. Especially in the wild. I try not to get too cute with it. I really just want to hopefully take down some splash damage and hit the base hard to the core. I don't want to I don't want to prolong anything. I want to have a quick decisive push to the core and hopefully have my queen meet up with my main force or engage the rest of the base where she's not under heavy fire while the main army of my main army takes out the rest of the base. So
yeah, have you found that just after 3 weeks of doing this exclusively in Titan 3, have you found that you have a lot more confidence in the clan war attacks?
Especially reading what I'm going to block off of. Like if I want my queen to go a certain direction, I mean that just takes raids to see what you can do and how you can kind of telegraph where she's going to go.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest issue that I see with guys in when I fail is just not having the control of having the knowledge of where my queen's going to go. And the other thing that you can try to plan is what happens when things go wrong. I mean, if she's going to go the other way, I mean, you can kind of path that out too.
Yeah, that's why you always wait on those earthquake spells until after you know what direction the queen's heading, you know?
Yeah.
I've seen some people make the mistake of just dropping the earthquake right off the bat, and then you're like, ooh, I mean, because, obviously not, like the raid that we watched, the first raid, that was an example of the earthquake didn't really, it didn't really matter. She wasn't necessarily going to merge. But the second raid we saw, you're obviously planning for that queen to merge with the rest of the forces, so, taking things one step at a time is obviously pretty important.
Yeah, we have this conversation in the clan all the time about queen walks, and I really think that they are a solid 2-star army too. I mean, especially as a first raid, if you can path it correctly, you can hit that base hard with the potential to have a 3. I think that's one of the things that you really hope is that guys are going to give themselves opportunities to have solid 2-star attacks with 3-star potential. Especially in clans and groups as tight as ours. I mean, if guys want to get out there and practice and dangle a little evidence of doing that stuff and having some control and stuff, I think it's a great first attack, personally.
Yeah, it's a great point. Great point. Like, you're right. I mean, we're seeing so much less, of the more classic Zapquake, Gola Loon type stuff that you saw at Town Hall 10, Town Hall 10 previous to the update. And now it seems like Queen Walks have just taken over wars, and partially because of what you just said, because your success rate is so high, at least for 2 stars. So you can do this on a first attack. I mean, it's a great point. And, I mean, I guess just moving away a little bit from the whole Queen Walk conversation, I know you've been one of our longest standing co-leaders in the entire alliance. Want to tell us a little bit about your time in Elite Nation, maybe, just to close things up?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed my time in Elite Nation, Battle Elite. The things that I get to experience is really quite unique. I've been in other clans, and the stuff that we do outside of the clan with the alliance. Me getting into this Queen Walk stuff, I saw Morph in an alliance event. We had a tournament, and we were Team Mutiny. Big shout out to Team Mutiny. And I got to see him doing it out in the wild, and his attacks were just sick. And his knowledge in game of being able to help his clan mates path Queen Walks at the end of the war, and I mean, it was just the knowledge was just spot on, and that's what he was doing. He was out there queen walking in Legend, I think, smoking bases.
Yeah, I've shown, actually. I'll go ahead and link in the description one of his 3-star Legend attacks, but he's definitely a 3-star Legend. I think that was the title of the episode, but yeah, go on, sorry.
And I was up there, and I'd never been to Legend before. We were in an alliance voluntary push. We wanted to see how high we could get one clan in the alliance, and at the same time we had this other event. So I was doing safe dragon attacks, and loved it. I mean, it was interesting. It was something new. I'd never done dragon attacks. Watched your video, and not blowing smoke or anything. I remember talking to you about it.
Yeah.
I watched your video, and I didn't lose another raid as far as attack the rest of the push, I don't think. I mean, a lot of 1-stars, but
very safe. Yeah.
Super safe army, and I mean that's part of pushing. You want to be safe. You don't want to minus 35. But anyway, I saw this guy Morph, who I really didn't have a lot of contact with, but I'd seen his raids whenever I was over at Red, and I'd seen the videos, and he was just dropping replay after replay, and I was like, I got to learn how to do this better. I gotta have this in the arsenal. And I mean, we get so caught up in raids that we're comfortable with. Like when I was farming dark, I was using loons, and I was hammering dudes with loons, and you get so wrapped up in one strategy. But that's kind of how I've always farmed. I farm with what I want to war with, and it's really worked out for me. I'm a pretty max base, and I want to practice those things that I'm going to use in war and that are fun. As a Town Hall 8 and a Town Hall 9, I did an awful lot of Barch, and right at the end of Town Hall 9 is when Lisa picked me up in Global and dusted me off. I think that I just got...
you were a Global recruit.
Yeah,
wow,
I got booted out of a clan that was a really high-end war clan. I'm pretty sure that they're probably level 10 now. They were a good clan with some seriously good attackers, but I couldn't 3-star the way that they wanted me to 3-star. I was a witch guy in Town Hall 9. I started in battle a year ago Christmas.
Yeah.
And witches were still decent then. Witches are still decent at Town Hall 9, but there weren't the anti-3s that we have now. It was a totally different game, had a lot of trophy bases, had a lot of seams and a lot of lanes.
Yeah.
And I pathed well. Lisa picked me up, and I've been in Battle Elite ever since.
Yeah.
And it's been a great experience, the way that the clans all work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to give a shout out to Medium Roar, because he was your captain there, and he's Town Hall 11 now, I think, right?
Yeah, he's a
Town Hall 8 3-star expert. He's great at 3-starring Town Hall 8s. So just got to give him his due there. He is our resident. If you needed a good sketch, he's always willing to sit down and talk out how to hit a Town Hall 8 as a Town Hall 11.
A little Medium Roar beat down there.
The episode wouldn't be complete unless I took a shot at Medium Roar.
The Goblin Giver.
Yes. But, Hundo, it was so good having you on, man. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. We've been talking for a while, and it was all great stuff. So thank you for lending your expertise to this episode, and you bring so much to the table in the Alliance, and just as a skilled attacker yourself. I mean, Morph is a beast, and you've really taken, so many in-depth and complex strategies and really taught a lot of other people. So just want to thank you for that on behalf of the whole Alliance, and thank you for coming on the channel.
Thanks very much, Ash.
No problem, man. Take care.
Have a good one.
We don't play for fame, we don't play for cash. We just play for the glory and the clash of the ash.
Oh, guys, be sure to check out my second channel, 3 Star Vault, a huge collection of 3-star raids.